present church, which has been preceded by a minster, an Anglo-Saxon monastery from the 7th century, contains the largest collection and some of the finest examples of Anglo-Saxon sculptures.
Oh, it's you, Amy. I heard voices and I wondered who it could be.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just practicing.
Practicing?
There's a group coming in this morning for a tour, and it's the first time I've ever done one, so I'm a bit nervous. In fact, I'm terrified.
I'm sure you'll be fine. You'll be good.
I don't know. I mean, there's so much to remember.
Well, they can't expect you to remember everything.
Well, they will expect me to know everything.
Who are they anyway? U3A? WI? You know, they probably don't know anything, so you could almost make it up. But don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't know who they are. Apparently they just wrote a letter saying they wanted to come and see the church.
Wrote a letter? Oh, how quaint. What time are they due?
11 o'clock.
Oh, we've got lots of time. Look, it's a lovely day. Let's go for a stroll around the churchyard. It'll make you feel better.
I doubt it. But it must be better than hanging around in here for ages.
Not much has changed. Same old box pews.
Of course. What did you expect?
Well, one thing has changed. Our pew.
Your pew? What do you mean, your pew?
Well, there are bits missing.
It's an improvement if you ask me.
I wasn't asking you, actually.
These clothes certainly aren't an improvement. Most unseemly.
Disgraceful, I'd call it. Women wearing trousers, indeed. If I'd dressed like this when I was a girl, I would have been locked up.
It certainly is very shameful to be seen out in things like this.
Oh, you're here? I thought there was to be 10 of us.
Some may have got lost. With all the changes around here, it's very confusing. I'll have a look outside.
And you, sir, what on earth have you got on? I told you all to wear modern day dress.
So I have.
No. You're wearing the jacket of a First World War officer.
First World War? Never heard of it. I just pulled the first thing off the rack. Smart, I thought. Better than my usual gear.
Well, you'll have to take it off. Either that, or you'd give the game away. And you, sir, what do you look like? You've got your jacket on upside down.
How am I supposed to know how this thing works? You can't get the stuff, you know.
Oh, here, let me help you.
I found these two, dodging amongst the gravestones.
We were much afraid.
And ashamed to come into the church dressed like this. Yes, why have been told to wear such outrageous garments?
Well, you see...
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you'd arrived. Welcome to St Mary and St Hardolph's Church. I'm Amy, your guide. We are very pleased that you've decided to visit our church.
I thought it was my church.
Pardon? Did someone say something?
Sounded like Hardolph.
What, sorry?
Nothing, dear. Just carry on. Look, we're looking forward to hearing what you've got to tell us.
Aren't we just?
Have you come from very far?
Yes and no, I suppose. It depends on how you look at it.
And does your group make a specialty of visiting old churches?
Oh, our group? Well, no. In fact, we've never actually met until today.
Oh, well, you are a newly formed group then.
Well, yes, you could say that.
So, let me begin by telling you that the history of this church goes back over 1,000 years. Let's start with these Anglo-Saxon sculptures. This one is a woman dressed in Byzantine style. Rather surprising, isn't it?
Is it? Shh.
This is known as the Breedon Angel. No one knows his real name.
They do? Of course they do. I do.
What?
Oh, shh. Look, stop interrupting the poor girl. Do go on, my dear.
This isn't the original, of course. That is safely put away up in the bell-ringing chamber.
I thought you looked a lot less worn than me.
So, how about showing us my pew and telling us about that?
Oh, I think we all know about that.
Oh, really? You've been here before, then?
Oh, yes. We've been here before.
Why did you call it your pew? It was built in...
1627. I know. By Henry Shirley. That's me.
What?
Henry.
I'm Henry Shirley.
He means he's a descendant of Henry Shirley, dear.
You're a Shirley. Well, you should have said, we are most honoured to have you here, sir.
Then perhaps you could explain why some parts appear to be missing. Most unseemly.
Well, it's a bit of a strange pew. I doubt you could see the altar or hear the service.
Well, actually, that was the idea. We were Catholics, you see, we Shirleys. We were obliged to come here to avoid paying the fines. But in there, we could hide ourselves away and practice our own faith.
You were Catholics? Wasn't everybody?
I see you're a little weak in the field of history, sir. You remember Henry VIII and learning about him?
No.
Okay, well, he was a king at the time, and he turned all the Catholic churches into Protestant ones.
Yes, which is why this church is an Anglican one, although it would once have been Catholic.
Oh, I do apologise, dear. We seem to be doing your job for you. Do carry on. The Shirley's room, perhaps?
Oh, yes, let's go and see that.
Well, this looks a bit different, isn't it?
Yes, it is rather unusual, isn't it?
No. I mean, it used to be painted, gilded and that.
Oh, yes, so I believe. So you knew that anyway? It was built in...
Oh, good God, girl, 1598. It was built in 1598 by my father.
Forefather. He means his forefather,
I'm
dear.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, not really. I mean, this girl knows nothing. One would have thought they could have given us a better guide than this.
I'm so sorry.
Well, now that she's gone, perhaps it can stop this ridiculous charade and reveal who we really are. Starting with me. I am, as I have already mentioned, Henry Shirley. The Henry Shirley. Sir Henry Shirley. Not some descendant or other.
And I am Frances Shirley, his mother. That's me, kneeling in prayer up there. And I gave birth to him in 1589. My eldest son, there he is, kneeling behind his father, Sir George.
As the eldest, I, of course, was always intended for greatness.
But you disgraced yourself more than once, I heard. Went to prison even.
Oh, Henry, surely you didn't humiliate the family after I died?
A mere misunderstanding, Mother, nothing more. So, let us move on. Who is next?
Oh, don't upset yourself, my dear. Henry was always a pompous and belligerent man. Why, he even upset the Earl of Huntingdon in his day.
Did he? I didn't know there was still an Earl of Huntingdon today.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Forget I said it. Don't worry.
Well, he certainly seems to know a lot about the church. I suppose you do too, do you?
Well, you could say that. I was an archaeologist. I took part in an excavation here. We uncovered some fascinating stuff, and it was clear that people had inhabited here before the 1st century BC.
Oh, well that must have been before I came here. I don't remember there being an excavation here.
Yes, dear, it would have been quite a while before you came. Now, dear, are you feeling a little bit better?
Yes, a little. But I don't want to go back in there and face them again. Thank you for being kind to me.
That's right, dear.
What's your name, by the way?
Oh, my name? Oh, well, I am Kathleen Kenyon.
Oh, Amy! Hello. Are they still here, our visitors? Or have they left already? Oh, how did it go?
Oh, it was awful, Susan.
Oh.
They were such a difficult group. But this lady's been very kind to me. Oh. Well, she was here a minute ago.
You know what? Maybe I should go in and have a word with them.
Oh, maybe. But I don't want to go and see them again. I couldn't bear it. I just want to get out of here.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We'll take another stroll around the churchyard. We'll leave them some time so they can wander around the church, and then I'll lead them out. Okay, so you come and tell me all about it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Right, so how have you all been getting on? Have you all introduced yourself? So, what have you done? Look, when I organised this visit, I made it quite clear that everyone should come in modern day clothes. And you, Hardolph, don't keep appearing like that. We don't want these people to know who we really are.
Why not?
Well, they wouldn't understand and would most probably scare them to death.
Well, what happens if that girl comes back now?
I think that's very unlikely. Henry here really upset her.
Well, perhaps now we can find out who people really are. I am Elizabeth Cummins. I've never actually been to Breedon before today. I lived in London. My husband, Francis, he was born in Breedon. He left some money in his will to start the village school. I added to it when I died.
Well, I am... well, nobody really knows. And I've forgotten myself. I'm so very old, you see. Over 1,200 years.
People say you are the Virgin Mary.
Well, I could be, I suppose.
And why are you holding a book? Surely women don't read books.
Ah, my book. Yes, that's a secret I shall never reveal, I'm afraid.
Probably yet another thing she's forgotten. Silly old bat.
Henry, please don't be so unkind. And you, dear, what about you?
Well, I'm the Breedon angel. That's my stone tablet we saw earlier. No one knows my real name, except me, and I'm keeping it a secret. Like Sir Hardolph here, a man of mystery.
Quite so. I was a king in ancient times, and later I became a saint, which is why this church is named after me.
Well, things have certainly changed since my time. I was the Bishop of Lincoln. I came here in 1441 on an inspection. It was an Augustine priory back then, but I knew some things were amiss. The priory was in a state of dilapidation, and the prior was in debt. I despaired of there being any improvement under his leadership. And I was right. But what actually happened?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Henry VIII, who was king in the early 16th century, broke with Rome, and he dissolved all the monasteries and religious houses, and Breedon was dissolved in 1539.
Yes, when my husband's family, the Shirleys, came here, which was in a terrible state. We wanted this as a burial place for our members of the family, and the villagers wanted it as a parish church. So in we all came, and most of the old buildings were torn down.
But Mary and I were saved and put up in the restored church here.
So I hope that makes things a little bit clearer now. And what about you, Margaret?
Oh, you wouldn't want to know about me.
I know who you are. Margaret Clifford, died 1785. Yeah, weren't you the mistress of his lordship up at Staunton Harold Hall?
Me? Absolutely not.
No, not you. The other one. Earl Ferrers. Probably related to you, though. Sounded like a right one. Shot his own steward, John Johnson. They hanged him for it.
And you are?
Me? Thomas Howe, engraver. I've done most of the headstones out there in the graveyard. You look above the door, you'll see my initials. I've done some stuff in here and all. And I did this ladyship's tomb, gilded and painted it, 1839.
And didn't you steal the lead off the church roof?
Well, yeah, I've done that as well. Times were hard, family to feed.
And were you found out?
Oh, yeah, I did. We got 12 months hard labour for that.
Oh, I hope you learnt your lesson.
Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, after I came out, I'd done a bit of painting as well as me engraving. But then in 54, right enough, I got done for stealing Mr. Joyce's hen. 4 years penal servitude. Bit harsh, I thought, for stealing an hen.
Sounds like you deserved it. Prison is the right place for people like you.
But didn't you end up in prison more than once, Henry? Something to do with your feud with Lord Huntingdon?
That old fart. He never showed me any respect. Just because he lived in Ashby Castle and I only had Staunton Harold Hall, I should have had a peerage, you know.
Oh dear. Look, this visit isn't turning out as I planned. Well, let's just leave. But make sure that no one sees you in those costumes.
Well, Amy, you've definitely had a baptism by fire. I've a good mind to go in there and give them a piece of my mind.
No, don't do that, Susan. It was that Henry Shirley that was the worst. The lady that sat with me out here was really kind. I think she was the organiser.
Oh, did you get her name?
Kathleen Kenyon.
No, that can't be right. Kathleen Kenyon was indeed a very famous archaeologist in her day, and she did work on an excavation here in Breedon, but that was just after the war. She died years ago. Maybe you misunderstood.
I suppose so. Something else I got wrong then.
Oh, shush. You know what they say? When you fall off a bike, you have to get straight back on it. Come on, let's go in and face them now.
Oh, do we have to?
Yes, but I'll be with you all the way. And I'm not afraid of any stuck-up Knowles. Come on, let's go in and see them. Come on. Come on. Oh, there's no one here. They must have left. Odd we didn't see them walking back to the car park, Amy. No, there's nobody here. They must have left.
Actually, I thought I saw someone out the corner of my eye, but I turned away quickly in case it was one of them. It was odd, but I could have sworn he was wearing some sort of old-fashioned costume, and he was shouting something. It sounded like I should have had a peerage.
Oh dear, Amy. These people have affected you more than I thought. Maybe we'll get somebody else to do the tours in future. You know, we're getting a new heritage officer. Rachel's her name. She can deal with these people in the future. Come on, let's go.